Welcome, everybody, to The Buzz. I'm Joe Davidson. I've been at the Sacramento Bee for a lot of years, and there's always something going on in high school sports. We generally like to focus on the feel-good achievements, the championships, the unsung players, the stars, the big recruits, the amazing coaches, the alumni coaches. But every once in a while, we have issues, and we touch on those as well. And if it's a local school suing the governing body CAF, we'll touch on that. If it's an imbalance of the haves and have-nots, we'll touch on that. And so the hot topic this week is a baseball game between Del Campo and Blue Hawk Colony of Atwater. And in short, I'm going to make this as simple as I can. Check out all the stuff on sacb.com. Del Campo wins the game on Monday, last play, game-winning slide. We're going to get into all that. Then the game is forfeited because of an issue with batting practice, and then no fans are allowed for the next games at neutral sites, tied in part because of the Blue Hawk Colony fan that charged the umpire after the game. We got video on all that. We're going to talk about that. And then I just heard something different just now. So Kevin Dwardzik of Del Campo Baseball just texted me. I asked him, I said, is there any update on the appeal? Because he spent all of yesterday with his principal, Mr. Snyder at Del Campo, appealing this batting practice, technicality. He just said just now, he goes, let's go. Game 1 win overturned. Del Campo now is the winner. So I should bail off of this and do that story, but we'll do that in a little bit. So how about that? More chaos and all that stuff, but we'll touch on that here in a minute. We have no Cameron Salerno this week. He's got the nerve to go to Hawaii of all things. So what we're going to do is we're going to list him as AWOL. I didn't approve of it. I don't think Jim Patrick did. So we're going to do that for Cameron. We're going to have Jim Patrick, my editor, and my friend's going to join us here in a moment. A couple other things we're going to touch on real quick. Cool achievement for Vacaville High School athletics. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Really cool win for an Elk Grove Unified School District golfer in Section's Master Championship out of Cosumnes Oaks. We'll talk about that in a second. And how about something really fast over 4 laps? Gary Martin, a Pennsylvania high school miler, ran the fastest high school mile ever, and he may come to Sacramento next month in the Golden West Invitational. More on that. Baseball, softball, track and field, all in full swing. Jim and I will size this all up. We're going to show you names and players to look for and all that kind of stuff. So before we get Jim, there are some good things going on right now, and we don't want to just stress on the parent behavior and all that, but we're certainly going to touch on it. A grand slam walk-off by Valley Christian Academy of Roseville. Here it is right here. Take a look at this. This is Jackson Nichols, bottom of the 6th, his 8th home run of the year. The Delta Saints are the opponent. This is the clinching game of the Division 7 Sac-Joaquin Section semifinals. Small school pride. The Saints are big time in football. Valley Christian's big time in a lot of things. Brad Gunter Jr. is the coach. I liked him better when he had the full beard. He doesn't have that. So, that's where we are. And so here's Jackson Nichols. We love the small schools. We applaud the small schools. He's got 8 home runs this season. He's 7-2 on the mound, and he does big things like that. So they are in the section finals. Coach Gunter seeks his 9th section championship. That's pretty good living there. Okay, let's talk real quick about Vacaville High School. Why we mention that? MEL, Monticello Empire League School of the Year. This is a tweet that they have. The 28th time in the league's 46-year history that Vacaville High School is the MEL School of the Year, which means they had more league championships and all that. Look at all their student athletes right there. That's incredible. So kudos to Vacaville. I've been there before. Jim Patrick's been there before. It's a school that gets it, and they have a motto: make your school proud. It's a good theme. Make your school proud. If you're going to be a boorish parent, think about your school. That's a good thing. All right, one more little quick thing here. Hats off to Zach Mate of Cosumnes Oaks High School, the Elk Grove Unified School District. He just won the Section Masters Golf Tournament in a sudden death playoff. The Northern California Championships are next week in Berkeley, which will be about 40 degrees cooler than here. He's just the second golfer in Elk Grove Unified School district history to win this, and was coached by Patrick Roth, who's pictured here. Patrick also won championships in basketball. Heck of a coach. The other local athlete to win it in that district, Spencer Levine of Elk Grove in 2022. And he's gone on to do great things. All right, let's bring in Jim Patrick really quick. Jim, we break news here. We break news. So that appeal that Del Campo filed yesterday to the Sac-Joaquin Section office, arguing, what's going on with the wording and the details of the batting practice. They won the appeal off air. You and I were talking. I said, appeals never work. This one worked, and it should have worked. And before you dig in here, and I appreciate your insight, on these big picture things. I have the issue with several things. I have an issue certainly with the Boris behavior of the fan going out there. We're going to show you that video in a moment, going after the referees. But the Buhak Colony athletic director, who did not introduce himself to the Del Campo coaching staff, Buhak Colony was offered the junior varsity field to do batting practice. They got there at 1:30 for a 4 p.m. game. What are you there to watch?
That's earlier than you and I show up for games, which is saying something.
And we get there early. Sometimes we go to the wrong park and go, hey.
I've done that. How many times have I called you in a panic, Joe? At least.
Like, so where's the game? I said, you're 9 miles off. So I don't like this rat 'em out type of attitude. We're going to catch you. And if you got a problem, if you're an administrator, first of all, introduce yourself and be clear. Why? I don't get it. So what happens is now the game is at neutral site and all that. They're still fighting Del Campo to get that game back up to Del Campo as it stands now. Game 2 is at Laguna Creek, which is a road trip for both. So there we go. So why don't we run video, Jim? I'm going to let you take
hang on. Before we get to the video, let's just make it clear. There's two things going on.
Yes, sir.
There's the one thing is this batting practice issue. So let's focus on that real quick. The batting practice issue was that Del Campo allegedly took batting practice and Buhak Colony did not get to take batting practice. And what happened today, because Del Campo allegedly took batting practice and Buhak did not, the CIF initially decided that Del Campo forfeited game 1, which they actually won on the field, right?
But here, well, I mean, but Kevin D, the Del Campo coach, did offer Buhak Colony a chance to do batting practice. Did they do? He's not sitting around to watch, but he's got all the bats there. They were ready to do it. I'm pretty sure right.
We're only hearing Del Campo's side of the story. There is another side of the story. I just, summarizing, that's what's been going on. And according to the Del Campo coach, what you're saying is the Del Campo coach just now is telling us that, in fact, is it the coach or the AD, Joe?
The coach.
Okay.
The Del Campo coach, Kevin Dodasek, just said that they won their appeal. So they now lead the series 1-0. They led 1-0 after Monday's game. Then they were down 0-1. So now they're pushing to get the games back. The reason we haven't heard from Buhak Colony, Jim, is all calls are being referred to the district office. Very predictable, no comment type of thing. We had comments from the district office that had nothing, no substance. Yeah. And it's interesting. And so, I'm going to go to the game today and hope to talk to them. They might put a gag order, which is hilarious for high school sports, but that's where we are. Now, I know you're a big stickler on good conduct. I mean, where's the civility with fans? Now let's show this video. First, let's take a look at the play at the plate, and you'll see on the left side, the Buhak Colony coach comes charging after the plate umpire as the play's happening. And Jim, you noticed that he was running towards the plate.
Yeah, here he goes. He's coming right now.
This sets it all off. Here he comes. This is outrageous. Should have thrown him out.
Yeah. Well, and the game was over, right? So,
but you can throw at a guy even after a game.
Okay. And then after that, here we are.
And this is the ugly thing. The guy in the red hat is a parent or a follower or somebody's not identified, but school has identified him. They're not making it public, and he's going after the umpires. By any measure, Jim, this is bad, boorish, unacceptable behavior. We're not sure if there's going to be charges filed. This is why umpires and referees and officials are not doing as many games. The numbers have dropped down. The participation rate for, who wants this? Who needs this boorish behavior?
Right. And there's a certain amount of negativity you can accept, I think, as an official. I've umped games myself. Here we are again with the play at the plate. I mean, this is a close play. If it was to me, it looks like the tag might have been there, but you can't see the plate. I don't know what's going on. How does anybody see a play like that and think that an official is out? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It looks like his left hand is in there. Maybe it's hard to say. There's a cloud of dust,
and the coach charging up there, and look at him throw his arms up. What, you can see it better, coach? And come on,
right? I'm guessing this umpire didn't go to Del Campo High School. I'm guessing this umpire doesn't have it in for Buhak Colony. I'm guessing that this is a guy who made a call on a close play at the plate. And, it's unfortunate that a game is decided that way in some ways, but how many, it also makes for great stories. This is what baseball is. And this is that you can't edit out and have there's just no technological response to this, right? We don't have video replay. It's a high school baseball game. So you live by the calls the ump makes, and you die by the calls the umps make. And it's just that I can't fathom being somebody so upset that I'm in the parking lot trying to start a fight with an umpire after this.
Well, because these fans, they feel like they've been ripped off. And there was a home run for Blue Hawk Colony that Kevin D and the Del Campo Cougars coaching staff, they appealed it right there to the umpire and said he missed first base, and so he was called out. And so that set it up. Then the home plate. But you're right, this behavior here, there's no call for it. And we know this theme, Jim, whether it's youth sports, high school sports, college, pro sports, fans are convinced to the core that umpires, referees, and officials are out to get it. I hear it all the time. Every game you go to, they're out to get us. It's not true. These guys do the best they can. They don't deserve this heat, this venom. And some people will justify this behavior of a coach right here or the fan behavior in the parking lot. Some people will justify it, Jim, because they say, well, the umpire's got to do a better job. It's on them. No, civility needs to come through.
Civility. And again, this is such a close play, Joe. How does anybody see this play or this replay and say that this guy is clearly out? There's nothing in this video. I doubt the people sitting there live had better views than you and I do sitting here watching this replay over and over. And thank you to Mr. David Caraccio for looping it for us, because it's such a good.
So the coach throws his hat off and goes around. It's just bad. Yeah. I know a lot of area administrators would sit down their coach for behavior like that. I've seen high school baseball coaches go charging down and confront an umpire, and they get immediately thrown out. And in high school sports in this state, you have to sit out the following game. So as it stands right now, Del Campo won the game, then had to forfeit the game, wins the appeal. So Del Campo leads Blue Hawk Colony of Atwater 1-0 in this best of 3 section semifinal.
And no fans tonight, neutral site. And I got to think
high school,
even still,
though Coach Kevin D is saying we are hopeful that we'll win that appeal. I don't think that's going to happen. I think, and I'm hearing disturbing reports from media who attended and covered Monday's Del Campo Blue Hawk Colony game that a lot of Del Campo fans were pretty unruly during the game and taunting Blue Hawk fans, and just that kind of happens. And so that's maybe that. I think that's the big reason why no fans are allowed. Yep. I don't know how they're going to police that, or people going to pile into the parking lot. It's going to be interesting, but now we're going to decide on the field instead of appeals and technicalities and all that. So what is Bill Hawk's punishment? Well, no home game, and all that stuff. So we don't want to beat this into the ground, but this is an unusual story, Jim. I've been doing this a while and never seen anything like it.
And it is, and here's me playing the role of your boss, Joe, telling you what to look out for, because Joe's going to go out and cover this game. I would bet this officiating crew is not going to put up with a whole lot this afternoon from either team. And I would bet that they're going to send the best crew that they have. If it wasn't these guys that work they're not going to send the same umpiring crew. It's going to be the best of the best for this game today. And they're not going to put up with a lot. And I hope that cooler heads prevail. And I know that emotions are high. I know these teams have both been through a roller coaster the last couple of days. I just hope that, not necessarily civility, Joe, but go compete hard. But let's maybe not start fights at the game with the umpires or the other teams for that matter.
Exactly right. And we don't need fans from anywhere waiting in the parking lot. Now, the CIF Sac-Joaquin Section, the governing body, did stress that none of this is on the players. No issues with the players and those kind of things. So if the section, with the section overturning the appeal, kudos to the section, kudos to Mike Garrison and the Sac-Joaquin Section office and all those guys down there, Jason and Will DeBoard and Jason Feuerbach. They listened. And I think that's what's fair in an appeal. What we do know is, and I got a little clipboard here, I've been writing this stuff down, is if you're a high school coach, any sport right now, and you're in the playoffs, be thorough in what you're doing. Make sure your players are all eligible. We've seen in the football playoffs in the past, Jim, where Del Oro wins a section playoff game or a NorCal, and they have to forfeit because they had a junior varsity player gets called up, plays in a meaningless game. Well, he shouldn't have been in the game, blah, blah. Same with Jesuit in football. So, make sure you're thorough and make sure you see who's videotaping your stuff. We've seen this before where, Del Oro football and Whitney football and others where fans from other teams go over there and videotape them and then try to rat them out with the section office. I don't get that. I think it creates ill will and all that. So I don't know. But anyways, all right. So we've touched about as thorough as we can. We're going to have more on this, and I'll be at the game today. And check out our Twitter throughout today and also our stuff on sacb.com. So are you there? You look frozen.
No, I'm here. I'm just taking it all in, Joe.
Your image is frozen, but your voice is there, which is, I don't know if that's an improvement or not. But anyway, so that's what we have there. A lot of other topics. Let's touch on UC Davis. Athletics may have a new mascot. I did a big story on that. This is kind of curious because this happens in high school as well. Only those high school mascot changes are usually rooted in controversy, like if it's a Native American mascot. This is not the case. These are a bunch of UC Davis students, super bright, great academic achievers. Why do you want to change the mascot? Well, they want to keep Aggies as part of the mascot or the name UC Davis Aggies, but they don't think that a Mustang or a horse of sorts should be their actual mascot. They think it should be a cow. It's a cow town. It's an agricultural school. They have cows on campus for ag programs. I think it's fun. I think it's cool that the students are getting involved. I think it's, and it passed its vote, the student election vote.
Uh-oh, did we just lose Joe? We might have lost Joe. I was going to make a joke about all the moving words that he had in his story about the UC Davis Aggie mascot change. Sorry, we apparently have lost Joe. Joe's in frozen world. So I'm going to move on without Joe, and we're going to head on to the we're going to move on past the mascots. We're going to talk softball, I think, today. Let's pull up the softball brackets and get going. I'm going out to a softball game this afternoon. Saw Rockland play on Tuesday, and I got to say, it's interesting. That's a team that Rockland that they graduated everybody last year. They had like 9 seniors, and almost all of them started. And here they are again. They're in the quarterfinals for the Sac-Joaquin Section Division I tournament, and it's just an incredible turnaround. This team started the year 6-8, and they've won 11 of their last 14 games. They've gotten hot at the right time of year. They've got good pitching. They've got some good young kids who are hitting the ball, and they still have a bunch of seniors in spite of the fact they graduated a bunch of seniors last year. So that's a real interesting team. And Joe, you're back with us because
I thought you guys bailed, and I'm thinking, what's going on? I kept talking my best material, and all of a sudden I'm off.
You have best material? All right. Well, welcome back, Joe. So, we're talking
welcome
softball.
Welcome back. So what did you guys throw up? What chart?
We just did D1 softball, and we're heading into D2 softball because I think the interesting thing is there's Del Oro there, Joe. That some of the best softball teams are actually all in D2. Del Oro, St. Francis, and Elk Grove. I think those 3 teams are all in our top 4 in our rankings. Not even our top 5, not our top 10. Our top 4 are Del Oro, St. Francis, Elk Grove. Sheldon is the only D1 team that's in our top 4. So D2 is really stacked this year, and it's going to come down to those 4 teams. It's going to be a local team in it one way or the other here.
No, this is great. And Woods Jenkins had 2 home runs the other day, Grace or Hope. I mean, they're just doing great things as usual. And Del Oro, you mentioned, Elk Grove's got the terrific pitcher, the ace in the circle, and Silva.
Yep.
You know what? You're right, Jim. Division I, Division II are so close. And they all play each other, and they do just fine. And there's the Division I again. Sheldon's going for, I think it's 9th section championship under Mary Jo Truesdale. You just saw Rockland. I don't know if you touched on it when I was off air there, but what'd you see in Rockland? They graduated.
Yeah, I did talk about it, and I don't want to belabor the point for everybody except for Joe. But Joe, the Rockland was just impressive with the turnaround that they've had, winning 11 of their last 14 games. They started the year 6-8. And here they are in the quarterfinals for the section. So heck of a turnaround story there at Rockland.
Good. Did we, when I was off air, did we run baseball?
No, we haven't done baseball.
Let's okay, there we go. These are the section finals, Sac-Joaquin Section finals in Division I, Division II. The McClatchy-Whitney game will be at Sacramento City College. One game only. A lot of coaches aren't happy with that, but there's NorCal regionals. I don't think we have enough time to squeeze them all in unless you want to play into July. Granite Bay versus Rio Americano. That should be a great series there. And then let's take a quick peek at Division II. What the latest is there. It's not coming up. Or let's get to our track and field if we can. And there we go. Take a look at this, Jim. So the Sac-Joaquin Section Masters Championship is Friday and Saturday at Davis High School. This is the photo is of Riley Chamberlain. She leads the section. These are her leading times.
That's crazy. A 4:45 in a 1600. That's crazy.
She may win state championship. And when you think about who has lost out, this girl was so good as a freshman, and then no season in 2020 when she was a sophomore, COVID, no postseason last year. So she's going to finish off strong. And so this list has got a little bit of everybody. Whitney High School field program, jumpers and runners and relay people. So just terrific things going on there. Let's take a look at the boys. You want to see some good times here too, Jim. Here's Braden King of Jesuit. Look at, he's a doubler. His 1600 time is strong. His 3200 is even more impressive. Just good stuff. Good stuff. We don't have, and there's another Whitney burner right there. So those final, I'll be covering that on Saturday at Davis, the championships. Next week is the CIF state championship. So we're well represented in field events and all that kind of stuff. So finishing up strong in track and field.
We love track. It's chaos, but it's delightful chaos.
Yes. And we're going to finish this. And if you're just getting in late onto this show, it will link here later in a moment online for the full detail, including Del Campo winning its appeal from a game that was forfeited, all those details there. But here's Gary Martin of Archbishop Wood High School in Pennsylvania. And why do we have him here? Because he may be coming to Sacramento for the Golden West Invitational, which is a who's who of great track and field guys over the decades. He just ran the fastest high school mile ever, 3 minutes, 57 seconds.
Jeez.
3 minutes, 57.98 seconds. Amazing. That's just
I can't even run an 800 in 3 minutes and 50
seconds. It broke Jim Ryan's prep record set in 1965 in a Kansas State meet. Jim Ryan went 358.3. Jim Ryan ran his last high school meet at the Golden West Invitational in Sacramento. So did Steve Freefontaine. So did Marty LaCory. And let's hope that Gary Martin does too. I think that's just an incredible time. The sub 4 minute mile is always the big thing for the milers. To do it in high school is really a remarkable feat. So
and to do it by like 3 seconds, it's a no doubter, Joe. Like that's not like somebody might have clicked the thing a little fast and got him into the just at 3:59.9. No, this dude's running a 3:57. Legit. And
he didn't have a rabbit, didn't have college competitions, wasn't an invitational where you have college kids running and all that. So that's amazing. And Jim, he keeps this stuff up. He's going to be an Olympian. That's really impressive.
I've been trying to figure out what we're going to do in June for the Buzz, Joe. Maybe you and I will just go out and run laps and see how we'd fare in a decathlon. Like you and I have a decathlon competition against each other.
I think
bring our laptops out there.
Or maybe we can do, we got this email, the world's strongest man competitions coming to Sacramento, and maybe we'll do the world's, the region's least strongest media guys or something. We can do beer kick tosses and, things like that, and pulling rope and all that. So I don't know.
Instead of flexing a muscle, I get a droop. Is that normal?
Yeah. Exactly. So there we have it. All kinds of stuff going on. We're on this stuff as much as we can on sacb.com, also on our print version. I'm on Twitter. Jim's on Twitter. Cameron Salerno is AWOL this week. He's in Hawaii. He's got some nerves. I didn't approve that, Jim. I didn't approve it. So that's he may not come back. He may just decide to stay in Hawaii.
Fine with it.
But we appreciate everybody from following us. Send us any comments if you'd like through social media or email. Keep it civil, and we'll see everybody out there soon. And Jim, I appreciate you as always, as a great editor and a good friend. David Caraccio behind the scenes doing all the graphics and the video. Jim Silva helping out as well. We appreciate everybody. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon.